Hey everybody, Swirsky here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to trace your image in CorelDRAW effectively, and that's regardless if you're doing it on the Cameo cutter or on the laser cutter. Now, just to show you real quick, if I have an image, this is my image. To get it into CorelDRAW, just right-click, copy image, and now it's on the computer, and then I can simply go to CorelDRAW and hit paste, and then it'll plop in there. Now that's this one, so I use that, and I also have one that's also a bad image, even though it's under black and white, shades of gray, it's outlined, all that good stuff. I'm going to show you why that's bad. Now it's a little longer just because there's a couple things that go along with this, and again, I'll talk first in terms of the Cameo cutter because that ends a lot sooner, and then for the laser cutter, there's a few extra pieces. So when I do this, any image that I have that I copy and paste in, when I select the image, watch up here on the toolbar. When I select it, you're going to see that you get this whole new thing here. And what I want is this trace bitmap. Bitmap just is the image. On this drop down, I have all these different tracing options. Okay. Now, quick trace just means that the computer will basically take its best shot at what you think you want. Center line trace is nice if you want a single line, where maybe the lines are thicker or they're double lines, but you don't want that. You just want a single outline. And then the outline trace, which is the one that we'll use probably the most. That'll be the most effective for us. At the very least, if you're like, I don't know what you want to do, try something, and you can just kind of go through the line, and you'll find one that works better. So I'll show you kind of the difference between a couple of them. So we're just going to do a quick trace, and all that does is the computer just says, hey, I'm going to take my best shot at what I think is going to happen. It'll quick trace it, and it just did it. Okay, it just overlaid it on the image. Now, if I pull, watch. So if I click, hold, and I pull, this is the image I just traced. This is the original image. Okay, so you see that it looks pretty much the same, which is good. There's a couple things that are there. Now, watch if I outline trace, and I'm just going to go line art, and that's usually the easiest one to do. This is the one I use pretty much exclusively for when I'm trying to outline it. Now it'll go to this thing and it's going to go, I'm working, and now I'm done. And you just hit OK, and same thing. It just outlined it, and if I pull, now I have basically two outlines of the same image. Now what happened in here is that it filled in where it needed to, and right now there's no outline. Okay, so there's a fill. The fill is black, but there's no outline. So I need to add an outline. Okay, and I'm just going to add the outline as black. Now I'll just hold the Alt key instead of having to go into the pen. I'll just hold the Alt key, and I'm going to mark it as black. Okay, now you see it got thicker because it added an outline. Now I want to get rid of the fill, so I don't hold Alt, and I hit this X. It gets rid of the fill. So now you see I have an outline. So now let's say if I got rid of it, hold Alt, click this, you see that there's nothing there because there's no fill. Keep holding Alt, and I have a fill here. Okay, so this was this is when I did trace, outline trace, line art. Again, that's the most effective one I have, and you see like how nice that really is for me. Now, if I do the same thing, remember this was a quick trace, so I'm going to get rid of the fill. Ready? I'm going to hit X. Everything should go away. Hold Alt, and I'm going to click the black. Now this is going to give me a black outline in here. It pretty much does the same thing, but in the quick tracing, it also added this outline in this box. That's because there's a box. You see how there's these here? It just added that piece. So that's one reason why I like this outline tool, or when I do trace bitmap, outline trace, because it just usually does the image and it doesn't do this box. Now I can get rid of that box, go to this virtual segment, click, hold, and now it's gone. So you see I kind of have both things here. Now if I'm going to Cameo cut, I'm done. All I need is the line. I don't have to change the color. I can just set that in my 9x5, make it as big as I want, all that good stuff. Okay. If I want to do it for laser cutting, remember I have to use red for vector cut, goes all the way through. Blue gives me detail, and then shades of gray gives me my fill, my etching. Okay. So this is the extra step. So again, if I'm Cameo cutting or using the vinyl, I can simply be done, put it in here as long as it's it's filled in here. I'll get this cut, and then I can peel off what I want for that. I don't need to do any color changes, so I'm done. Laser cutting, what I need to add is my blue, my red. Now, if I tried doing that, let's hold Alt, hit red. You see everything turns red. Well, that means that everything's going to cut out. I don't want to do that necessarily. Well, maybe you do, and you just want to have these little outlines. But let's say I wanted the outline to be red and then inside be blue. I have to ungroup these things. So I just simply go to the object, group, ungroup all objects. So now it's going to be treated like individual things here. So now let's see what this does. And sometimes, and again, it's a little bit of trial and error because you don't, it's a little bit different. So now I'll hold Alt and blue. Hey, I got a blue horn. Here, Alt, blue, look at what's going on. I get the blue inside. So now it'll give me all this detail work, which is super nice. Actually, an easier way to do this, why don't we, I'm going to shortcut this. Instead of having to select every little thing, let's select it all, make it blue, and now watch. Let's hit the outline and then make that red. Hey. So now what it would do is it would cut out the very outline, and then these would all be detailed. Hey, that's cool. The other thing I can do is as I select this, I can get a fill now, and you see like that's ungrouping it. I can get all these fills, and I can change the shading in here as I go. Like I could make all of these a different color. I could shade this if I want. So you could get some different shading on here. Say I wanted the horn that way. There, horn had to be real black. So you can see kind of where I could go with this. This will be real nice and light. This can even be darker, like that. Let's just finish this off here. There. Hold Shift to select everything. Shift, 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 oops, Shift, Shift, and almost go blue. Hey, look at that. So now you see I have some fill here. Oops. My OCD is kicking in here, and I want to make sure it's all set. So you'd get a pretty cool effect on this one, which would be pretty neat with your stuff here. So it would cut all the way out, and then it would etch all that stuff. So this would like outline your Viking and then give you this fill. And the same thing with this one. It's just a different outline. But again, you would have to go group, object, group, ungroup all objects. And now you're dealing with these individual pieces. I don't know. You see that there's a double line here, and that's some extra stuff that we'd have to deal with. But at the very least, when you get in here, trace bitmap, quick trace, it'll give you everything you want. Pull it. Now I have my outline, and that's the very least. So that would be the most basic. You see how all the lines are nice and clean, everything like that. And now I can print that, which is pretty cool. And I could get a pretty cool effect from that. That's the good one. Here's what it looks like if it's bad. You see, like, even though this is outlined black and white, you see these shadings. So let's say I want to go edit bitmap, quick trace. And it's thinking, done. Watch when it pulls. So now, again, I'm going to get rid of the fill. Just hit X. Everything will go away. Hit Alt. Let's just go black. You see I have all these extra lines because of this shading. What it's going to do is it's going to differentiate the shading. And you see I have all these extra like double lines in here that I would have to try and like work through. And this bottom part, like it just doesn't look nice. And that's because it's got some shading and some fill. So that's why I don't want ones like this. This is clean. Look at that. Boom. This is not. Okay. So again, if I'm going to do laser cutting, I need to add the red, blue shades of gray. And I do that again by going to Objects, Group, and Ungroup. If I wanted to laser cut, or I wanted to cameo, I could stop right here, and that's all I would need. Okay. That's all for this video. That is how you take your stuff here. The best thing to do is just experiment. Once you get into this tracing thing, take a shot at it. See what works. If something doesn't work, just delete it, try something new. Okay? But we'll see you on the next video.